Hello, and welcome to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom with your hosts, Heather and Rachel.
Together, we're here to talk about all things self-care, from fitness to mindfulness and everything in between.
Whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates, or practices like tapping and meditation, we're here to help you discover new ways to care for yourself.
We'll also share tips on positive self-talk, finding time for self-care, and creating routines that stick.
We're here to provide you with plenty of tips, tricks, and unsolicited life advice.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Join our community, and together we can explore the path to wellness. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom with Heather and Rachel. We're back again to talk about, wellness, because, it's right there in the title. So we're going to talk about how wellness is not a one-size-fits-all thing, and that what works for me in my wellness routine is not necessarily what's going to be what works for you in your wellness routine or anyone else. And we're going to talk about like what it is to have a true wellness practice, to see what it is like you need in your life to take care of you. And because that's really what it's all about. Like that's bottom lining it, like cutting to the chase right in the beginning. We're going to talk about like what it is to notice what you need and to give that to yourself. So, and what that looks like in a world where everything is just being like thrown at you, that you should do this, you should take this, you should, show up this way, do that thing. Like if you're not doing it like this, you just don't know what you're doing. And it's enough to like make you crazy. You're like, I just want to feel good. I want to be happy. Like I want to have energy. So we're going to kind of dive into this and talk about what it is to have your own personalized wellness practice, and what that looks like in an everyday day-to-day kind of thing. All right. So I'll get started with the questions, and we'll go back and forth, and we'll ask questions, answer them, and put our 2 cents in, as we always love to do. So question number 1 is, when it comes to wellness trends, why do you think so many people feel like they have to fit into that like perfect routine? Like, right? You got to fit that. Like,
yeah, it's easy to feel pressured. I just think we're programmed to feel pressure of like peer pressure and things like that. So I think when people on social media and influencers and your friends and all this stuff, when something is working for them, right? They, I think people want to shout it from the rooftops anyway when something's working for them. But just because it's working for them doesn't mean that it's going to work for you, right? And so I think that everybody just wants to share. This is perfect. This is, this works for me. Here, have this remedy, have this, magic pill, the magic of whatever. And, life will be grand and groovy. But the reality is that that's just not the way it is, because we all live such different lifestyles. And what your routine is would never fit in my lifestyle, right? And vice versa. And so I think it's easy to feel the pressure. And then it's also when people suggest things or offer you things or something like that, it's also easy to feel discouraged when it doesn't work like it's working for that person. So yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of problems with that myself. Like I've tried a lot of things that were supposed to be like the best thing for me. So I mean, I suffered with migraines for years. And oh God, if I had one more person tell me to try yoga, I think, I wanted to just cry every time I heard that, because I tried yoga multiple times. It made everything worse for me. Now, I'm sure there might have been like that perfect class with that one teacher who knew how to do all the moves that were just right for my body. But I wasn't finding that.
Right.
And I finally had to come to the conclusion that no matter what was working for anyone else, yoga was not the way that I was going to feel better, no matter how much I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Like, no matter, like,
And the whole thing is when people talk about yoga, they're talking about the asana, the
well,
movement,
absolutely, right.
right?
Yeah,
And
no, I know.
so when they're talking about, maybe that's the other thing too. You just throw it out there like, here, have this. And then it's like, well, what do I do with it once I have
Exactly. Yeah.
it?
Like where do I go? And
What do
there's
I do with
so
this?
much of that. Like, I mean, I
Right.
don't know how many posts I get was like, you need to do this. Well, that's great. What are the steps I follow to do that?
Yeah.
Like
What
you have to
exactly is
feel
that?
like or like you have to feel it like it's already happened. Wait, so but I never had that experience before. So that's great. How do I do the steps
Right.
to
To get
feel
me there.
like to feel something I've never felt before? Because
Right.
I don't get that.
Yeah. And so, and I am a huge yoga advocate. I love yoga or whatever, but I have clients that some of my clients, we never do asana. We never do
Yeah.
movement, you know. And so that's always interesting because it's always like, here, have this. And then you're like, well, I have it. What do I do with it?
Yeah, exactly.
Now what?
And you just really need that.
I need instructions, please.
Yeah, seriously. Like it did not come with does my life come with a handbook? Because that would be
Nope.
great. No, oh,
Nope.
nuts. So, all right, so we're going to talk about the question like that we have. How do we recognize when a wellness routine is no longer serving us? But also, not just that, how do we know when something just doesn't work for us? Like you tried the
Yeah.
thing and everyone around you is just raving, right? Like,
Right.
because everyone on TikTok is doing their special little dance to whatever this like magic pill is that's going to fix everything. And I took it and nothing happened. Or I took it and I feel awful. It doesn't
I
work.
feel
Like,
worse.
yeah, like
I did that and
then
I don't
what?
feel so good.
Yeah, no. Ew.
It's all about tuning in to how we feel, right? We talk about gauging. So, how do you feel in the moment where you're not feeling good? And how do you gauge whether you're feeling better or worse, right? Some
Hmm.
people just know they don't feel good, but they can't even like really place it, right? And
Absolutely. Yeah.
so part of all this is kind of exploring what what your body is telling you, what your mental health is telling you, what things are telling you that you're already going through,
Hmm.
right? First, you have to start there. So you're first starting at ground zero with how are you feeling right now? I tell people, you got to take inventory of your emotions, your body, your mental health. Like you got to take
Absolutely.
inventory of all this before you can even remotely try to figure out what you're
Yeah.
needing, right?
I'm just gonna like just kind of stop you there for a second. And I think again, we're gonna bring it back to mindfulness. You need to take the time to stop and notice because we go through life, we go through our day, and we have no idea some
Yeah,
days what we're even feeling.
right.
And we don't notice that anything is even going on until something huge happens,
Mm-hmm.
whether it
Yep.
be like good or bad. We're
Right.
missing all the very small details that are cluing us in into what is working and what isn't.
Yeah,
So
totally.
sometimes you just need to stop and pay attention to yourself
Right.
and just notice what you're feeling before you can gauge and take that inventory. Because unless take note and take a minute to breathe and to notice, none of that's even possible.
Yeah. And honestly, sometimes you don't even know how bad you feel until you start feeling better.
Yes, I have. Again, like I'll take it back. I know I'm like always with the headaches. Like I would get a migraine, and my shoulders, the tension in my shoulders would be intense,
Hmm.
and to the point where like I would get the headache, but I wouldn't feel any pain or any tension or anything in my
Hmm.
shoulders until they started to loosen up, and I could actually feel like the blood like rushing back in there.
Hmm.
And it would be after like the intense like pain of the migraine that all of a sudden I was aware
Right.
that my shoulders were up to here in my ears. The muscles were like locked so tight. And it wasn't until all of that was over that I noticed that, like, oh, yeah, there's a lot of tension happening
Yeah,
there.
lot going on there. So a wellness routine should support us, right? It shouldn't
Absolutely.
add more pressure. It shouldn't stress us out. Like once we start looking at self-care and it's stressing us out and we're panicking about it and we're trying to squeeze it in and we're, getting agitated because we can't
Yeah.
squeeze it in,
Uh-huh.
it's no longer self-care, right? We're doing
No,
a great disservice to ourselves at that
absolutely.
moment. And so, if we find that thing that works for us, right? Um, then we need to kind of like ease into things. Like I tell people, easing into things is really the way to go. Like
Absolutely.
we can hop into something and it could be delightful, right? You can have one day where you just are like, man, today's my day. I'm going to do this great routine, blah, 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 blah. And you do it and you feel amazing. And you're like, I'm going to do this every day. This is going to be the thing. And then the next day, something comes up and you couldn't squeeze it all in. And now you're agitated because you couldn't squeeze it in.
Yeah.
And now, you know what I mean? And so I tell people, like, just kind of go slow. We did not wake up this way. Like, we didn't wake up one day and we're disheveled and we have, a house to take care of. And,
Right.
it took us time to get here.
It's a slow build, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it took
like
us time to
it's
get here. And so know that it takes time to adjust into something else, right? And
absolutely.
wouldn't it be wonderful if we could be like, found the magic pill, we're done. Everybody's, grand and
Right,
groovy.
exactly.
But that's just not the way it is. It's not
No, and
reality.
it's not.
And
And
it's not
sometimes,
sustainable.
no, it's absolutely not sustainable. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later too, as we kind of like talk about, how things evolve and grow. So I think we touched on this next one a little bit. So wellness is a relationship with yourself. I mean,
Hmm.
first and foremost,
Right.
absolutely.
Yes.
And in any relationship, you need to get to know the person,
Yeah.
right, that you are involved with.
Yes.
And so many of us really have no clue about ourselves. Like, talk about things like shadow work and all of that. It's like the deep, dark, down stuff that we don't even show ourselves,
Right.
that sometimes really need to come to the light while doing this. We've got a relationship with ourselves. What does it look like then on a practical level? How do we have this relationship with ourselves and show up in the way that we need,
Yeah. It's about checking in, right?
right?
You got to check in. You have to take time to spend time with yourself, really.
Mm-hmm.
We
Absolutely.
the majority of the time that we spend with ourselves is usually caring for others. And so we're preoccupied with other things. And then we don't get to know ourselves and we don't get to know what we like and things like that. So check in with yourself. Someday it might look like nourishing your body, right?
Mm-hmm.
That could be your self-care one day. And then another day it could just be like a good meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a breath work or sleeping in,
Yeah, right.
going to bed early,
Reading a book, right?
reading a
Just
book. And I think that's, when we first started this podcast, right, we did a whole series on just kind of self care. We
right,
did
yeah.
4 episodes of self care. And one of the things that we talked about wholeheartedly was that we there are so many things that we don't check in because we don't think they're self-care,
Yeah, exactly. We don't
right?
think they're not on our radar, right? We
Right.
just like, and a lot of them are very little things like that
But
we
we
would
go
do for
in,
other people.
right, but we go into these things autopilot, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
if
we're not
you
noticing.
if you take a shower and you take a shower mindfully, adjust the temperature of the water, don't rush, wash your hair, smell the shampoo, smell the soap, right? Things like that. Use a good loofah, whatever you can do. That is self care.
Absolutely.
And I think that I think we're always rushing from one thing to the other, and we miss those pieces because we just can't tune in sometimes, you know? And so your self-care could be as minimal or as extravagant as you want it to be, right?
Yeah,
And it doesn't have to be
absolutely.
the same every day.
No, mine isn't. Mine will depend on what time I wake up. And I'm usually up around the same time, how I'm feeling, like how much I
Hmm.
want to get done. And I've got like longer and shorter versions of my morning routine.
Hmm.
I don't always get to everything, but I always do I always do something for
Hmm.
myself.
Yeah.
And that's whatever that looks like. But I've also developed my my morning routine and, my evening routine, my day over time. So there are
Right.
things that I do. I didn't start doing everything all at once. I started with just a couple of minutes in the morning doing this one thing. And then that felt really good. And then I started getting up earlier. Well, I'm
Hmm.
up earlier, I have more time. Well, that's
Right.
what's another thing I can add in.
Yeah.
And it evolved and grew over time as I saw what I liked, what I didn't like. I tried some things and it just kind of like
Yeah.
didn't work for me and I threw them out.
Right.
And then went later on, I found some like new information about that thing that I tried and I'm like, "Ooh, but I didn't try it like this."
Uh-huh.
And then I like, kind of went back into like my little toolbox and went, "All right, so we're going to put a new spin on this thing that didn't work before and see how it works this way." And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, and then that may work.
Right. When you text me, well, I'll just talk about just today, right? You text me,
Hmm.
you're like, are we gonna do our podcast tonight? And I'm like, oh, shoot. I've been outside playing in the dirt. Dirt
Yeah,
therapy is my thing right now, man. Digging in the dirt, playing in the flowers, doing all like that is for me. It is not clean. It is not, it is not something that I'm pampering myself, but man, I literally went out there with my coffee this morning in my PJs.
okay.
I came in after building our greenhouse, and I sat on the couch and you text me. I didn't bring my phone. I don't bring my phone outside with me. I don't. I just literally disconnect and dig
That's
in the
great.
dirt. That's
That's
it.
really
And so it's really funny because that's wellness, right?
absolutely.
It doesn't have to be soaking in a tub. It doesn't have to be going to a spa or something like that.
No, yeah, it's so funny like how that became like self-care. And I'm like, okay, well that's a great spa day and yeah, that, wonderful maybe Christmas present or something. But yeah, we need to take care of ourselves like on a daily basis.
Hmm.
So like with that, how are we gonna differentiate between like our trends and a practice that truly kind of supports what's working for us? And again, we're gonna say a lot of the same things here. So,
Yeah. So a trend is something that you feel like, oh, I should do this because everybody's doing this, right? While it turns into, a practice, it sometimes it's just deeply not you. Like it just doesn't connect with you. And you can try it and be like, oh, you know, maybe I'm doing it wrong or whatever. But we talk about this with meditation, right? Some
absolutely.
people meditate walking, which is great. It's a moving meditation. Some people meditate when they, do something at the gym, working out, or some people meditate just by sitting outside drinking their coffee or whatever. And so many people are like, oh, I could never meditate. I could never meditate.
I've heard that so
Little
many
do they,
times, and I'm like,
right, but little do they know, we all find times to meditate where we're just kind of disconnecting, right? And we're just taking those few breaths for ourselves. And so I think this is the same. Like I said, my self-care right now is dirt therapy. It is working in the garden. It is getting I said to you, I look like a dirt ball, literally. Like I
yeah,
had dirt on my face, I had dirt in my hair, my hands were gross, my feet were gross. I was barefooting it out there. And, that just makes me happy. And to me, that's self-care. And
Yeah, absolutely. Like we need to find those things, right? Those things that make you happy, those things that make you light up, like all
right.
those, finding like your little glimmers. And that kind of brings us right into so how do we start listening to our bodies?
Yes. So we slow down, right? We slow down and we turn off the outside chatter, right? We stop comparing ourselves to everybody else because
Hmm.
we're not everybody else. And granted, some people have amazing things that they do for their self-care, and yeah, you should adopt something of the sort, or, you know, whatever. And you can look at it and be like, yeah, that seems simple. I can do that. I like that, whatever. And yeah, good. But when we start comparing that I should do exactly what Rachel's skin's so beautiful. I should do exactly what she's doing, and then I'm going to look just like Rachel, right? That's not realistic.
No,
That's
absolutely
not
not.
reality. And I think that if you find things that make you light up, if you find things that make you feel calm and at peace, if you find things that help you to breathe, like just stop for a moment and breathe, if you find things that help you cut down the chatter around you, then that's the sweet spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not the same every day, maybe, right?
No, and I think a good place to start, I'm just gonna kind of, because I'm always the one like, I always want to know how to do it. What do I do? So again, we're gonna pay attention, and when you feel
Hmm.
that like that little bit of lightness, right? That thing that just kind of takes the pressure off, that makes you feel light, like you're not carrying all the stress and the
Right,
whatever you're carrying with you. When you feel that lightness, that's a good cue that that is something that is good for you, that kind of
right.
serves you, feeds your soul. If it's listening to your favorite book, like while you're driving, or, just a great radio station that just lets you think about nothing but the song that's on the
Hmm.
radio. Conversation with a friend that kind of lets you like lose yourself and forget about everything that happened during the day, and you just
Yeah,
start laughing,
right. And
all
I
those,
mean,
little things.
you just brought up a great point because self-care could be coffee with a friend, right?
Absolutely.
Self-care could be a romantic dinner with a husband or a spouse, right? And so I think that those are those are huge to kind of tune into as moments that we can pause, moments
Hmm.
that we can slow down, moments that we can get lost in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Where you're
Those,
just really the most
yes,
yourself, right? Like that's
yes.
it's just you being you.
And and honestly, to me, those are all self-care, right? Yesterday it poured here. It poured here today, while we were putting up the greenhouse. And me and my husband today, we stood in the greenhouse after it was put together and we just hugged in the rain, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I left work and it was pouring. And as I got in my car, the rain cleared and this rainbow came across the sky. And I just sat there in my car with the car
Oh,
off
that's
and I
so
just sat
nice.
there just looking at it.
I
And
have seen so many rainbows recently.
have you?
It's just, yeah, it's been really crazy because I mean, I went through most of my childhood like thinking rainbows were those dirty little like gas puddles in the street. Because I don't
Oil
think I saw,
slicks?
yeah, the little oil slick thing. Because like I don't remember seeing many as a kid, like in the sky.
Hmm.
And well, it's been raining here like crazy.
Yeah, here too.
But yeah, recently, like I've actually seen like quite a few like really big, like vibrant rainbows.
Yeah.
It's like so cool.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, things like that, like just enjoying the moment, slowing down, finding peace in a moment. It doesn't have to last forever, right? But to be able to breathe in that moment and be like, wow, this is beautiful, or,
Yeah.
whatever. I think I think that's the key. The key is to recognize it, whatever it is.
Pay attention, people. There's gonna be a test. No, no test, but
No test.
pay attention because just for your own benefit. Um, Pulling my own headphones out. All right. So, what role does compassion play in all of this in our
Oh my
wellness
gosh.
journey?
Yeah. So, I say this probably more episodes than I would like to admit, but compassion is everything. Compassion is everything. If you cannot treat yourself with compassion and grace, you're already missing the mark, right? And uh, we give other people's compassion. We will give it to other people so freely, but yet when it comes to ourselves, we'll beat ourselves up. So we often expect ourselves to be perfect and, you know, impeccable in everything that we're doing. And if it doesn't feel just perfect, or if we don't know how it's supposed to feel, and we're just like, maybe we're doing it wrong or whatever, instead of like critiquing everything, just try to enjoy the moment and be like, be proud that you're taking time for you, right? To
Yeah.
be in the moment and honoring that you're taking the moment for yourself. We have to recharge ourselves so we can help take care of others, right? We all have to do that because we're all taking care of something other than ourselves, whether it's at work, whether it's family, whatever that looks like. And in recharging ourselves, we're more efficient, we're more effective, we're more compassionate to others. When we feel good, it's so easy to be leading with love with somebody else.
Absolutely. Like that makes it makes a huge difference.
Yes.
All right. So wellness is going to look different for everyone, like always. And that's,
Hmm.
something that is really important to kind of hone in on. So can you give examples of how someone might, thrive differently than the standard, like than the, normal wellness routine, than the like,
Yeah. So we touched on meditation earlier, right?
mm-hmm,
But we'll take it back there, right? So some people find it to be incredibly soothing and calming to meditate. Some people just can drop in. I'm one of those people. I could be anywhere and I can drop into meditation like boom. Um, and and other people get restless. Like they just I have people in restorative classes that
mm-hmm.
you can see the discomfort in their body. Like their body is tense, they're just uncomfortable there. And so when we look at things like that, it doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing or this isn't for you. This particular type is not for you. We talked about yoga, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
this particular type of meditation isn't for you. So maybe your body prefers movement. So walking meditation is
Yeah,
good.
that's how I started.
Yeah,
When I started meditating, because I could not sit there
yeah.
without having a panic attack. Like I can
Hmm.
do it now, but it took me time to get there. And just because you can't do it now doesn't mean you'll never be able to do it.
Well, and just because you can't do it now, it just might not be for you. It
Yeah,
might not be something you ever do. And you know what? That is perfectly fine.
yeah. But I mean, the
Um,
thing is you don't like I've come back to things that I've tried before that
yeah,
didn't work, and some still don't work, and some
right,
do.
right. And so I think that when we look at all this stuff, whatever it is, you have to you have to find what's right for you. You talked about with yoga, finding the right teacher, the right class, the da 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 da. But anything that you're doing, you have to be comfortable in your own skin doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key, right? So some people will completely drive themselves crazy finding the right teacher and finding the right class and I'll find it here and I'll find it there and da 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 da. But the reality is if you look online and you say, okay, I'm just going to try this one pose, child's pose. And I'm just going to lay here in this pose, or I'm going to just try Shavasana, the corpse pose. And I'm just going to lay here and do that. Oh, I like it. Oh, I don't like it. it has nothing to do with the outer anything. It's how it
Mm-hmm.
feels in your body, right? And so I think we're always looking for somebody else to validate what we're doing,
Yeah.
right? We always want somebody to tell you, yeah, you're doing that right, or you should do it this way, or da 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 da. But the logistics of that is how do you feel doing it? How
Yeah.
does your body connect, or how does your body react? How does your body respond to whatever you're doing, whether it's good food, whether it's movement, whether it's breath? How is your body reacting and responding? And that's the key, right? That's
Yeah.
why wellness looks different for everybody, because it is different for everybody. And even if you and I are doing the same thing, say you and I are doing yoga every day,
Uh-huh.
it's different for you than it is for me, because our
Absolutely.
bodies are feeling it different, and we have different shaped bodies. That's the other big thing
Yeah,
too, right?
nothing's gonna look the same. Like if you and I are doing even the exact same thing, or close to it, it's not even gonna look remotely.
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna feel it the same because we don't have the same bodies.
Exactly. Like, I mean, there are certain things that where I am super hypermobile in some ways and like
Hmm.
can go too far into some poses and other poses I just don't even come close to because, and I'll need blocks to like
Yeah.
kind of like put underneath me to do certain things and that's fine. And I might be up like I can do a down dog like it's nobody's business because that's just the way I'm built. But if I try to sit in like a butterfly stretch, like my knees
Hmm.
are way up off the floor. Like they're just not, and
Yeah.
I've gotten them, I've stretched out a little bit, I've gotten them closer. But if I try to do that the way it's supposed to be done, most of the time I overstretch.
Hmm.
And it's not good for me. Like
Right.
and I need to have, I need to have the blocks. I need to have those
Props.
modifications
Yes, you have to.
to make it work for me.
Yeah. Yep. Totally.
What does it
Mhm.
mean to embrace wellness without chasing perfection? Which I
Ah,
think I've been guilty of that
I think we
once or
all have.
twice, you know?
I think that's human nature, right?
Right? Yeah.
I think we want to consciously we want to be doing things right,
Yeah.
whatever right is. And some people consider that perfection, right? So it means letting go of the idea that wellness is something to be achieved or perfected,
Right.
right? It's more about the process, right? The journey getting there,
Yeah.
the ups, the downs. As you have the ups and downs, you learn your body, you learn what you like, you learn what your body doesn't like. um, and so perfection isn't a goal. It's just not a goal. It's not real. And honor your body. Honor your body. Your body is wise. You are wise. Like you've been living in this body for however old you are. It's gotten you this far. Your body is super wise. So listen to it, pay attention to it. Respect your emotional state, because that's another thing, right? There are
Absolutely.
there are some days when I do yoga and I do certain poses that they unlock something in me that I cannot stop crying. Don't know why I'm crying, but it just unlocked that energy and there it is, right? There are other poses I do that make me laugh, right? So respect your emotional state wherever you are in the day, in the movement, in the whatever you're doing for yourself. And then um, just know that like this is a practice. Whatever you're doing is a practice. So it doesn't have to be set in stone. It doesn't have to be something that is stringent, right? It just has to be a journey. You're taking yourself on this journey and you're learning all these great things about you and building that relationship. And that's the key, right? When when you come out on the other side, which you don't come out on the other side until it's all said and done, like
Yeah,
until it's all over,
exactly.
right? But when you
And
come
then
out
it's too
on,
late. Huh.
yeah, but when you come out on to the other side, you can look back and be like, man, that was a really great journey,
Absolutely.
right? And I did right by me, and I did great things for myself so I could do great things for others.
Well, yeah, absolutely too. And by the time, like, when you look at it that way, there's no, like, it's just the journey, right? It's not, there's no destination
Mm-mm.
plan. There's no winning. There's no, I did it right. I did it the same as everyone else, or better than everyone else, or less than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one, most of the time when we're doing all this stuff, nobody's watching you.
No, no,
Nobody's keeping score.
no.
Like, no, like, it's all for you. So, like,
And whatever you're thinking and going through, that person's also thinking and going through.
yeah, most of the time, like most, do you ever like you start listening to like, personal development, anything, right? Like
Hmm.
books, audiobooks, like you're reading stuff and you feel this way and you're so sure, even as an adult, right? Because we really went through it as teenagers, and you're so sure that no one knows this feeling you're going through. And then you start listening or reading and they're talking about this and it literally is like you feel like it's been written to you.
Yeah.
Like exactly, because it's exactly what you're going through and
Hmm.
exactly what you're feeling. And somehow you thought that that was like uniquely your problem.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're all self-conscious.
Yeah,
We
totally.
all get it wrong a lot of the times.
Yes.
And you know what? And nothing is one size fits all.
Mm-mm.
Whatever you're doing almost always needs to be adjusted and modified
Right.
to your specific needs.
Absolutely. And
And
which
yeah,
makes it beautiful, right?
exactly.
Because if you are doing something that somebody else is doing it exactly the way the other person is doing it, you're doing theirs. You're not
Yeah.
doing yours, right? And
So,
so exploring what you need and how things feel to you and what nourishes you. And I don't just mean nourishes you by what you eat, but
right. But yeah,
um,
like it fills your
yeah,
soul. Like it like literally makes you feel you makes it fills you. Like you feel that
complete.
uniquely you. Yeah.
Yeah. You
So that
feel, yeah, like genuine.
and go learn like watch an expert and learn from them and get all the pieces of the puzzle and then just put it together in your own order.
Hmm.
And that's just how you do it. Like
Yeah, totally.
I'm never going to do anything exactly the way you do. You're not going to do it exactly the way I do, and it would be boring if we did. Like it kind
Yeah.
of takes all the flavor out of everything.
Yep. We say in yoga all the time, your neighbor's mat is none of your business. So keep your eyes on your own mat.
Yeah,
And
it's very true.
the reason why we say that jokingly, but we say it because you watch people look around the room at other people like, am I supposed to look like that? Am I supposed to be bending like that? No, you're supposed to be bending like you,
Yeah,
not like them.
and if something's not right, we're gonna walk over and say "Psst, psst, psst," like this.
Yeah. So, but it's just, I think even in any other workout classes that I've ever been to, watching everybody in the room, what are they doing?
Well, yeah.
We are so
Yeah.
we are
I do that a
definitely,
lot during Zumba because I'm like,
yeah, we are definitely programmed. We are programmed to compare, but
yeah,
we shouldn't.
I mean, absolutely.
We shouldn't.
All right,
All
I
right.
think I think we hit all the right like notes and just know that your self-care is really an extension. It's a part of your relationship with yourself.
Right.
So, treat that relationship like with the love and care that you would treat any of your, closest relationships because
Right.
it is your closest relationship.
Right.
This is about like giving yourself what it is that you need and only you know that.
Hmm. Yeah. And true healing isn't a one size fits all mold, right?
No, nothing
It,
is.
it's listening to inward, giving yourself care that you deserve, And so with that, we are going to say, take care of yourself and honor your body. And always remember, you are enough exactly the way you are and where you are.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom. Don't forget to subscribe or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And follow us on social media for more updates. See you next time.